Greetings and salutations, everybody. It has been a minute, as they say, and what I'm going to do tonight is something I haven't done in a while, and this is actually playing a game. This is from 1987, and I have not actually begun my 1987 replay yet, but this is a very special game for me because I actually attended this game, and this is from July 5th. 1987. It was a Sunday at Veterans Stadium. This is the Houston Astros versus the Philadelphia Phillies. In real life, the Astros won this game 8-2, and got the lineups here. And I'm going to just show you real quick here with my camera. So these are the new score sheet that I got here. This is the lineup for the Astros, and then we have the Phillies here. So got the pitchers. What I do is, I'm just going to show you what I do here for the lineups is, of course, these are the starting lineups. This is the starting lineup. I write down the pitcher, and this is Mike Scott on the mound. His pitcher rating. Write down how many innings he went, which was 6 innings here. And these are the bench players. Ron Reynolds came in as a pinch runner and catcher. Larry Anderson as a pitcher. And I need to make one change here. 1 second. Sorry about that. And so here we are with the Phillies lineup here. And this is the starting lineup for Philadelphia. Kevin Gross is on the mound here. And I need to get his rating. He does not have a rating. Okay. Wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything off. And these are the bench players that came in. Chris James, Keith Hughes, who I actually had to steal from the Yankees because he started the year in New York. Ron Renicky in center field. Luis Aguayo came in to pinch hit and play short. Doug Bear pitching. Wally Ritchie and Kent Tekulve. So those are your Philadelphia Phillies. Your Philadelphia Phillies. And we're just going to jump right in here, shall we? Leading off for the Houston Astros is Billy Hatcher. And let's see what Billy does here. 61 is 40. We got to go to the RP board. And let's see what this says on 40 for the RP board. 12, 40 is 29. That is a strike, as they used to say on Bases Loaded on the NES. Anybody remember Bases Loaded? Again, roll. 26 is 27. That is a ground out to third. Mike Schmidt over to first, 1 away. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Bill Doran. These are his numbers from 1987. Doran leading it off. Well, he's not leading off. He's batting second. Let's see what happens here. 24 is a 13, and it is a strikeout. He got him swinging. 2 down, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, who is playing at third base, Denny Walling. And let's see what happens here. 13 is 14. That is a walk. So Walling is on. And he stole 5 bases that year. He is an F32. We're going to keep him on first because the next batter is Glenn Davis. He is their power hitter. He hit 27 home runs that year. Let's see what Glenn Davis can do. 36 is 33. That is a pop out or a fly out to Mike Schmidt. And we will score that F5 on the scorecard. And it is no runs, no hits, and no errors going into the bottom of the first. And Philadelphia Phillies are coming up to bat. And leading off for the Philadelphia Phillies is Juan Samuel. And let's see what Juan can do if he can jumpstart this offense against Mike Scott. 14 is 30. Flies out to left. That is 1 away. Flies out to Jose Cruz. Batting second in center field is Milt Thompson, who would later play with the Houston Astros. That's a 21-30 again. Flies out to left. Jose Cruz earning his paycheck today. That is 2 away. Batting third and playing first base is Von Hayes, who I think is a very underrated player. I mean, those are really good statistics, don't you think, for 1987? Teams would love to have that guy today. Hayes, 62 is 41, and we have to go back to the RP rare play board. 41, let's see. 61 on 41 is a 29. That is a strike. Let's see if Mike Scott can get him to strike out. That's a 24, and he does. Strikes him out, and he swings at the split finger. No runs, no hits, no errors through one. It is a scoreless game here at the Vet, the hippest place in town. Well, not really. But if anybody ever heard the song Phillies Fever, you would get what I'm saying. Now batting, the number 5 hitter is Kevin Bass for the Houston Astros. Let's see what he does. 52 is a 27. Ground out to third. Mike Schmidt over to first, one away. That'll bring up the aforementioned Jose Cruz. He was winding down his career. I think this was his last year in Houston. He went to the Yankees after this. Let's see what he does here. 54-32 is a fly out to right, and that is 2 down. And that'll bring up Alan Ashby here. He had a pretty good year here, 14 home runs in 1987. And let's see what he can do. Ashby is a 22. That is a 7. That is a base hit. A base hit to right field for Ashby, who is not a stolen base threat. He did not have any stolen bases in 1987. And now that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Craig Reynolds here. Reynolds going to come up. Here's the pitch. 35 is 39. And we have to roll here. See if we get a wild pitch or pass ball, or let's see what else comes here. 34. Gross is a 2. 39 pitcher. So this is actually going to be, hold on, let me check this here. 39, 34. So he's actually fielding. So we're going to go to fielding 1. Runner caught off first if held on. No hold, use the RP board. We're going to say he was holding him. And yeah, because Ashby, even though he did not steal, yeah, this is debatable here. You know what? I'm going to say that we weren't holding him. So we're going to go with the RP board on this one. Because, let's see, 41. Yeah, let's do it. 41. 41 and 22, 41 is 19. That's first base. What is Von Hayes? I think he's a 3 for fielding. He is a 3. So let's see here. 42. That's 19. Okay, 19. Let's see. Roll the dice. 31. Ooh, that's a good roll, actually. 31 is a 2. So that'll be... There's 2 outs. Runner to third, batter safe at first. That looks like a fielder's choice. Runner to third, safe on first, fielder's choice, runner out at second. 1-6. Okay. That is a fielder's choice. So that'll do it. It is no runs, 1 hits, no errors heading into the bottom of the second. And the Phillies are going to come up to bat here. I actually played this game on Basic a few months ago, and I honestly don't remember who won that game. I think it was Houston again, but it was not quite what it was in real life. But this is fun because I'm playing it on the master game here. And guess who's coming up now? Whoa. It is Michael Jack Schmidt. He is coming up here. This was his last hurrah. He played about a year and a half after that and then retired in 1989. All right, Mike Scott. Let's see here. Oh, it's an 11 and it's a 1. Look at that. That ball is out of here. Michael Jack Schmidt. And the Phillies take the lead 1-0. Let me just check one thing here. 14-0. There's nothing there. Okay. So that'll bring up Glenn Tex Wilson. Wilson's going to come up here. 14. 36 is 14, and that is a walk. Wilson draws a walk. And he had 3 stolen bases in 154 games. I'm not going to worry about stealing a base here with him. That'll bring up Greg Gross, who's playing left field today. 14. 51 is 9. 14-9. And that is a base hit, beats out infield hit, or bunt runner to second. That is a single for Greg Gross. Runners on first and second. Philadelphia's got something happening here. And that will bring up Darren Dutch Dalton here, a very young Darren Dalton. Scott trying to get out. His 54 is 32. Flies out to right. 1 out. A runner will not try to go to third. Wilson is not a very fast runner. And that'll bring up Ken Dowell. This is Kenny Dowell here coming up. And the pitch by Scott, 55 is 9. That is 16-9. And that is a base hit. Single to left, it fills the bases. So now we have the bases loaded with 1 out. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Kevin Gross. And here is Gross's card. And we're going to have Gross swing away. Infield is playing deep, trying to get the double play. It is a 24. 13 is a strikeout. Got him swinging. And he made him look bad. And now we start over again. Here is Juan Samuel. The pitch, 35-14. Uh-oh. He walked him in. He walks in a run. And now it is 2-0 Philadelphia. Wow. That brings up Milt Thompson, who could do some damage. 55-8. That is 12-8. And that's another base hit. That is another base hit here. Will be an RBI single. The question here is a single over short, 61, and that's left field. So 1 run we'll try to, let's see if we can try to score here. 61. The left fielder is Cruz, who has an arm of 29. Now, who would be trying to score here? That would be Gross, I think. Gross would score. Wilson just scored. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that would be Gross. Gross has a speed rating of 7. And, sorry, Cruz is 29. It's 27 is 22. Subtracted from 61 is 39. Yeah, he's in there. 2 RBIs on a single. And look at that. The Phillies lead 3-0. My goodness, this is unexpected. And that'll bring up Von Hayes. Hayes rolls a 41, which is 24. And that is going to be a force out at second. But look at that. 3 runs. 3 hits. No errors. And the Phillies, yes, the Phillies lead 3-0. Actually, the Phillies did not have a really bad team that year. They finished 80-82, which is not great, but they got off to a bad start. They fired their manager, John Felski, in June, brought in Lee Elia to be the manager, and they played respectable for the rest of the season. Houston, I think they finished 78-84. I do not have the stats with me right now. Please forgive me, but I know they were under 500. Anyway, back to the game. Mike Scott is coming up to the plate here. That is his card. And let's see what Mike Scott can do here. 22 is a 9. That is going to be 10-9. And that is a fly out to center field. 1 away. And now the Astros begin their order again. Let's see if they can get something cooking here. Against Kevin Gross, 34. Flies out to center. Billy Hatcher flies out to Milt Thompson, his counterpart, in center field. Here comes Bill Doran. 65-35. Ground out to third. Mike Schmidt throws him out. No runs, no hits, no errors. And we go to the bottom of the third. Phillies still leading. And that brings up Michael Jack Schmidt again, who homered his last time up, which was also his first time up. He rolls a 22. That is a 6. 16-6. And that is, does he have an M? Does Scott have an M? No. If he did, that would be another home run. It is a double from Mike Schmidt. He has homered and doubled today. And now the Phillies have yet another man in scoring position. That brings up Glenn Wilson. 14-35. 13 struck him out. He goes down. Greg Gross comes up now. Gross 36-14. That is a walk. And now the Phillies got runners on first and second. Darren Dalton coming up again. Let's see what Dutch can do. The Astros hoping for a double play. 16 is 28. Grounder to short. What is Reynolds' rating? Let's see here. 28. I think he's an 8. He is an 8. So 28 on 8. Let's see if he gets the double play. I do see double play as a possibility here. They could use one. 36 is a 2. Double play, F on first, safe at second. Gross is not that. It is a 6-4-3 double play. Tailor-made. And no runs, one hit, no errors, one hits. One hit, no errors. As we go to the top of the fourth. Philadelphia 3, the Astros, nothing. And here comes Denny Walling leading it off. As a 65 grounder to third again. Mike Schmidt staying busy today. Throws him out. 1 away. Glenn Davis. 45-14. That is a walk. Davis is on. Base on balls. And he only had 4 steals. Down by 3. They're not going to try to steal here. Kevin Bass rolls a 66, and it is a 1. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 1. And 6-1, nothing. It is a home run. 2-run home run for Kevin Bass. And that ball is out of here, as Harry Callis would say, with less enthusiasm. And now Houston has came within 1 run. And that will bring up Jose Cruz. Cruz rolls a 62. It is a strikeout. Got him looking. And Cruz does not like that call as he heads back to the dugout. Alan Ashby comes up now, 16-28, grounds out to short. Kenny Dow over to first, makes the play, but 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors. And we head to the bottom of the fourth, and the Phillies now lead by 1. It is 3-2. And now that brings up the aforementioned Kenny Dow. Rolls a 55 as a 9. That is 16-9. And that's a base hit for Kenny Dow. He is on with a single. His second hit of the day. And Kevin Gross is coming up here. He is going to bunt. Sacrifice bunt. 56 is 34. It says 2 strikes on batter. Misses 2 attempts to bunt. Runner holds first. So now he's going to swing. 64, struck him out. He goes down. Dow does not have any speed, no stolen bases. Basically, he has an N, never going to steal. Samuel comes up 26. That is a strikeout. The unlucky 13. Milt Thompson comes up here. And he rolls 21. That is 30. Flies out to left. And that'll do it. No runs, 1 hits, no errors. Mike Scott starting to settle down here. And it is now 3-2, Philadelphia. Astros are coming up here in the top of the 5th. Craig Reynolds going to lead off the inning. 44 is an 8. That is 4-8. That is a base hit for Reynolds. He is on. And now Mike Scott comes up, and he is going to try to bunt and do a sacrifice bunt and move Reynolds over. It's a 61, which is a 24. Sacrifice. Ooh, that could be a double play. Let's see here. Kenny Dowell is a 7. A good defensive rating, not a great one. Let's see here. 20. Yeah. Was it 24? Yeah. 46. 46 is a 3. Is going to be double play. F runners safe at second and first. They are not. Double play. 1-6-3. Wow. And that'll do it. That is definitely more demoralizing right there. That is painful for the Astros. Very frustrating. But here comes Billy Hatcher. He rolls. It's a 51. That's a 10. That is going to be a 6-10. And that's a base hit to center field. Hatcher is on. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to steal. Oh, yeah. We are definitely going to steal. He's a D. I think he can do it. Let's see. Only with 1 or 2 out, which there are 2 outs, and behind by 1 run, tied, or ahead by 1 run. Well, we're behind by a run. So it's 33. Gross has 0 on his pitcher's card. 33. Dalton plus 3. Well, he's actually -3, which would be adding 3 to the runner. That's 36. Safe to say he'll, yeah, 61. He's in there. Stolen base. Hatcher is in there with a steal, but we got to roll. Make sure it's not a wild throw. Got a 5. 26-5, nothing there. So, yes, he is in scoring position. And that will bring up Billy Doran. Let's see if Doran can drive him in and tie this game. 54-32. And he flies out to right. Nothing doing here. So, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Missed opportunity there for the Houston Astros, and it is 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 5th. Philadelphia will have Von Hayes leading it off. I'm going to straighten my camera a little bit here. Okay. Hayes comes up. It's a 54-32, flies out to right, 1 away. Mike Schmidt has homered and doubled. Let's see what he does this time. 16, not this time, 28. That is a ground out to short. And the Astros finally get him out here. Glenn Wilson, 33. Ooh, that's a 0. And 14-0, nothing. Let's see what Wilson rolls on the second roll. 56 is a 6. And that's 14-6. That's a double for Wilson. So the Phillies have another man in scoring position with Greg Gross coming up here. See what Gross can do. 52 is 27. If it's a Y, and that is a strikeout. Gross goes down looking at the split finger. No runs, 1 hits, no errors, as Dick Stockton would say. And it is 3-2. Philadelphia, they're hanging in there. They are hanging in there. We go to 6th inning here. Scott went 6. Gross went 6. So Gross could be pitching his final inning here. And here comes Denny Walling, going to lead it off. as Bill Doran's card gets mangled here. Let's see. Walling. Okay. Oh, he rolls a 66. And 5-0, nothing there. Let's see what Walling rolls on the second roll. 15 is a 2. Oh, that is a triple to left center. And now he is on third and 90 feet away from tying this game. And here comes Glenn Davis. Phillies are going to bring the infield in. They're going to bring the infield in. And he rolls an 11. And it's a 0. 7-0. Let's see what Davis does. This is good for the Astros. 54 is a 6. 7-6. That is it says home run on player cards with double columns. Score this the same as number 5, which is a double. They've tied the game. Son of a gun. They have tied the game. It is now 3-3. Just like that. And the Philly Boo Bird fans are letting their voices be heard right now. Kevin Gross is not happy as he's standing on the mound and just kind of shaking his head. But get back to the game. Here comes Kevin Bass. 55 is an 8. That is 6-8. And that is a single over second. And now let's roll again. This is a play for the center fielder, Thompson. Is a 2. That is going to be 50. Let's see what Thompson's arm rating is. It is a 33. And Davis is 6 speed. 33 minus 6 is 27, which is 23. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it here. This is probably a bad move, but we're going to go for it. The Astros were aggressive. 23. Let's roll. And he is nailed. Oh, man. But let's check to see if there's a drop throw. 3. 21-3. Third bit. No, he is out. Oh, man. Missed opportunity there. But it is a base hit for Kevin Bass. So we're going to write that down. Davis out at home. Center field to the catcher in the 6th inning. I'm sure people right now are screaming, going, why'd you send him? But hey, got to play aggressive. Got to play aggressive. And the Astros were aggressive. And yeah, maybe we should have held him. But okay. Bass is on. He is a D28, though. He is a D. Gross, again, he's a 0. Dalton is 30. Add 3 to Dalton is 31. We're going to try to steal with Kevin Bass and get that runner over. Only with 1 or 2 out, behind by 1 run, tied. Yes, let's go for it. 31. 35. And he is easily in there with the stolen base. Kevin Bass will steal. Let's see if there's a wild throw. 3. 35-3 and nothing. So he is in scoring position for Jose Cruz. Let's see if Jose can drive him in. And he rolls a 54, which is 32, flies out to right, runner will hold. And that'll bring up Alan Ashby. He rolls a 56, 13, strikes him out. And no runs, or excuse me, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. We have a tie game, but the Astros could have taken the lead. They did not. And we now go to the bottom of the 4th. So one change that we are going to make here is we're going to take Kevin Gross out. Gross is going to be taken out of the game. And the new pitcher we're going to bring in, as they did in real life, we're going to go with, I don't know, they did have Doug Bear. And let's see where Bear is. There he is, Doug Bear. And we also have Wally Ritchie on this team. let's see who's coming up for Houston here. I want to see who's batting. Reynolds is a left-hander. Scott, who will be taken out for a pinch hitter. Hatcher. And one thing you can do here is you can look at the batters, and where you see the SA on the card, right here, the -15 is versus lefties, +1 against righties. So Reynolds, obviously not very good against left-handers. Hatcher, about even versus lefties and righties. Bill Doran is better against lefties than righties. So here, you know, I want to stick with what they did in real life. So they did bring in Doug Bear, so we're going to go with Bear. So Gross is done, and we're going to have Doug Bear come in. Where is Doug? Doug Bear. He is in there. Is that going to drop their fielding rating down? Yes, it will make them a fielding 3 now because they'll go to a 35. Bear is a Y rating, and here is his card. So Bear will come in. But first, we're going to get Darren Dalton to bat. And he's going to come up here against Mike Scott. 33 and a 0. Oh, boy. That is 14-0, nothing there. And roll again is a 32 is an 8. That is a base hit and a single for Darren Dalton. That'll bring up Ken Dowell, who has 2 hits today. He's got 2 singles. 16 is 45 is 14. That is a walk. Uh-oh. And now Dow is on base for the 3rd consecutive time today. Runners on first and second. And the pinch hitter, who came in real life, they used Chris James, Keith Hughes, Luis Aguayo. We're going to go with Chris James here. James is going to come up to bat, and he is going to pinch hit. Let's see here what can be done. Mike Scott has to get out of this jam. 16-28. That is going to the shortstop. This could be another double play. 28. 26. And yes, it is a fielding 1 for the fielding 2. And they're up fielding 2, but this would be a fielding 1 play. 6-4-3 double play. Runner goes to third. 2 outs. 6-4-3. And that will bring up Juan Samuel with a man on third. And this will likely be Mike Scott's last batter here. Make it a good one. 45, and he walks him again. Or not walks him again, but he walks another Phillies batter. And that will bring up Milt Thompson here. Samuel is not going to steal. We're going to keep him on there. And I think, yeah, he could try to steal. He is a C27. Scott has 0. Ashby, let's see here. 4. -4, which would add 4 to Samuel. That would be 31. Let's see. He is a C. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. We're going to be aggressive here. 31. Only one behind by 1 run, tied or ahead by 1 or 2 runs. Yeah, let's do it. 31-45. He is in there. Stolen base for Juan Samuel. He will steal the base. Go for the wild throw. Is a 3. 46-3. He is in there. And no damage is done. And now they have runners on second and third with Milt Thompson coming up here. The pitch. 51 is a 10. Uh-oh. That is 12-10. And, oh, he flies out to center field. Oh, man. No runs. 1 hit, no errors. And we go to the 7th inning here, tied up at 3. And Mike Scott will be taken out of the game here. We are going to pull him. So Scott will leave the game. And the pitcher that did come in was Larry Anderson, a former Philly. So we will bring in Larry Anderson here. And he is an X on his rating as we look at his card. Here is Larry's card. And leading off this inning for the Astros will be Craig Reynolds, and then they're going to try to get a pinch hitter here. They did not use a pinch hitter in real life in this game. They did use a pinch runner in Ron Reynolds, but here comes Craig Reynolds now. Craig Reynolds is 11. Ooh, that is a 2-0. Nothing there, but he's going to roll again. 24 is an 11. 2-11. And that's a base hit, beats out a bunt or an infield hit. He is on. Single for Reynolds. That brings up a pinch hitter here. And I'm going to look at their bench. Let's see who we got on the bench here. We got Mark Bailey, who's the backup catcher. I don't really want to use him. Ty Gainey, who's on the bench. We have Phil Garner, still on the team. Davey Lopes, who is still there. Jim Pankovitz. And we have Bert Pena. And Terry Poole. I think this is who we're going to go with, Terry Poole. Poole is going to be our pinch hitter here. And Reynolds is going to be on base here. Let's see. We're going to do a hit and run. We're going to call a hit and run here. 63 is 31. Hit and run. Single to right, runner to third. There you go. A base hit and a pinch hit single for Terry Poole. And now the Astros have runners on the corners again. And that will bring up Billy Hatcher. Philly's got to bring the infield in here to try and get the run out at the plate. Hatcher. And it's a 61-40 infield rating. The infield rating would be a fielding 3, so 41. Let's check this out here. 25. That is going to be a 2. So 41-2. Use the RP board. So we got to use the RP board on this one. 41. First and third. Let's roll. 42-41. And that is 23, which is for the catcher rating. And that would be Darren Dalton, who I believe is a 6. Yes, he is. 42. Yeah, 23. So let's see here what he does. 22. On a 6, 22 is 22 is a 2. 23 says batter safe at first on catcher's interference, runner to second, other holds third. So now we've got the bases loaded on E2. E2. Bases are loaded now for Bill Doran. Bases full. And again, they're going to have the infield in. Doran, 46-29. And we have to look at the pitcher rating here. So Bear is a 1 on his fielding rating. 29. 41. That is a 3. 29. Out at first. Runners advance 1 base. So, okay. 1 run in. Runners on second and third, and they get a run here. So that is going to be scored 1-3, RBI. 4-3, runners on second and third. And here is Denny Walling at the plate here. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take Doug Bear out. And we're going to bring in Wally Ritchie. We're going to bring in Wally Ritchie here because Wally Ritchie is a left-hander, and Denny Walling, as you can see, does not do very well against lefties here, -12. So we're going to have Wally Ritchie come in here to be the new pitcher. And if you look at Ritchie, he is a YZ on his card. He's also a fielding 1. So let's do it. Let's get back to it here. Denny Walling. Now we could pinch hit for Walling here and bring in a pinch hitter, but they didn't do that in real life. I'm going to leave Walling in there. He does have a .356 on base percentage overall. Let's see what happens. And we're going to add 5 for the first batter since Ritchie is coming in the middle of the inning. So 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 12 is 25. 32, infield still in, 26. Oh boy. 26, second baseman here, Samuel. He is a 7. Let's go look at the ratings here. 7. 21, and that is going to be a 1. 26 is going to be single through second, runners advance 1 base. That is an RBI single for Denny Walling. Oh man. And that'll add another run. Now you have runners on the corners with only 1 out, and now Glenn Davis comes up. Hoping for a double play here. He rolls a 41. That looks good. And shortstop. Dowell is a 7. Let's see if he can turn it. 7 is 23 on a 7. Let's see, is it 2? Double play. Runner scores if this does not make the third out. It does not make, yeah, it does make the third out. 6-4-3 double play. And that'll do it here. But 2 runs come in. 1, 2, 3 hits and 1 error. And it is now 5-3 in favor of the Houston Astros. And the Phillies are going to come up to bat now. 5-3. Larry Anderson. Let's see here. Who was the last batter? Was Glenn Davis. And we're going to let Davis stay in the game. Larry Anderson is going to come in here to pitch to Von Hayes. And the Phillies are now down by 2. Bottom of the 7th inning. At this point in real life, they actually played What I Like About You by the Romantics, and the Phillies Fanatic did a dance number. That actually happened. I am not making that up. All right, let's get back to the game as we adjust the board. All right, Von Hayes against Larry Anderson. 62 is a 41. We go back to the infamous RP board again. 41. Let's see. 36-41 is going to be 29. That is a strike to Von Hayes. 61-37. Again, the RP board. Back to the RP board. Been doing that a lot tonight. 37. 51-37. That is going to be a 9. And it is for the right fielder, Bass, who has a fielding rating of 2. 9 and 2. 42. And that is a 2. First and second on error. E right fielder, F runner to third. That's exactly where Hayes is going to wind up. It is an E9. Oh boy. And now he is on third base. And here comes Mike Schmidt. We're going to play the infield back, go for the out, and Anderson comes up. 56-34. That is a pop out to the third baseman, Denny Walling. That's a huge out. One away. Here comes Glenn Wilson. Wilson, 35. It's a strikeout. Oh, that is huge. That is huge. And that will bring up Greg Gross. Gross, 61 is 29. And we got a roll for the pitcher here, who is a 1. 29 on 1. It'll be 55. And that's a 3. Short pop fly out, runner holds. He pops out to the pitcher. And ladies and gentlemen, they get nothing. No runs, no hits, but 1 error on the Astros. And Philadelphia cannot score the runner. We go to the 8th inning here. And it is 5-3 Houston. That'll bring up Kevin Bass, who now will be swinging from the right-hand side. And let's see what Wally Ritchie can do. 26-32, flies out to right. That'll bring up Jose Cruz. Cruz, 53 is 17. That is to the right fielder, and Wilson, who is a 2. Let's see if he can make this play here. 2. 42-2. 42-2 is a 2. That is a base hit to right. So Cruz is on with a single. That'll bring up Alan Ashby. Ashby is going to come up here and 18. 46-13 strikes him out. That will bring up Craig Reynolds. 52-27. That is going to be going to the third baseman here, who is none other than Mike Schmidt, who is rated a 5. 27-5. This should be an easy play. 25, no problem. 25-5. Would have been a double play, but it has scored a ground out to the third baseman over to first. That'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And we head into the bottom of the 8th inning here. Astros still leading 5-3. And that will be it for Wally Ritchie. We're going to take him out of the game. And we will get Kent Tekulve warming up in the bullpen. And he has a rare ZZ rating. We've seen that. You no doubt have seen it. And yes, Kent Tekulve is going to come in here with a ZZ rating. So coming up for the Phillies, Dalton, Dowell, and a pinch hitter. Here's the pitch to Darren Dalton. Flies out to left, 1 away. And Kenny Dowell comes up. He's had a pretty good day so far today. 2 singles and a walk. 21 grounds out to second. 2 outs. And now we got to go for another pinch hitter. And just like they did in real life, they're going to go with Keith Hughes as a pinch hitter here. Hughes is going to bat. Rolls a 41, grounds out to second. And that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. And Houston is coming up. They will be facing Kent Tekulve here. And one thing here that I did notice is that Larry Anderson is due up to bat. Now, it is a 5-3 game, and this is where you have to make a decision to sometimes deviate from reality. if this was really what the score was, I have a feeling that the Astros will be bringing in this man, Dave Smith, their closer, who is a KYZ rating. So the pitcher spot is due up. Anderson will leave the game, and we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Kent Colby coming in, and we're going to go with Davey Lopes. I'm going to bring in Davey Lopes here to pinch hit, the veteran. And let's see what Davey can do here against Kent Colby. 35 is 14, and he walks him, I think. Oh, did he not? 14. No, it's 2 balls. There you go. 2 balls, no strikes. 41-28 grounds out to short. 1 away. And Lopes is out. That will bring up Billy Hatcher. 13-64. Struck him out. He goes down looking. Colby fooled him. And here is Doran. 15-46-29. Grounder back to the pitcher over to first. 1-2-3 inning. And we are now going to bring in Dave Smith to try and lock it down. And Smith is going to face Juan Samuel, Milt Thompson, and Von Hayes. It is a 5-3 game. Now, somebody once joked that Dave Smith was born with a 3-0 count. But you look at his numbers in 1987. I mean, come on. 1.65, a minuscule ERA. Very tiny, 73 strikeouts, 60 innings. I would not mind having that guy on my team. Okay, 5-3 Astros have the lead here. Let's straighten that board out a little bit. Here we go. Samuel, let's go. 22-26, strikes him out. And he's whiffing. He just whiffs away. And Samuel walks back to the dugout looking not happy. Milt Thompson comes up. Rolls a 43, which is 29. And that is a grounder back to the pitcher. And that is 2 outs. 1 more out to go. Von Hayes comes up. And here's the pitch. 24. Got him swinging. That is the game. Game over. And the Houston Astros have beaten the Philadelphia Phillies 5-3. And the winner of the game is Mike Scott. I think Scott is the winner. Let's take a look here. See, or did he not get the win? 3, 4, 5. He went 6 innings. At that point, it was a 3-3 tie game. So no, it is not Mike Scott. Correction, the winner of the game is Larry Anderson. And the loss, who does the loss go to? I think that would go to Doug Bear. I think Doug Bear would get the loss here for that. And the save would go to Dave Smith. So that is it, folks. Sorry it took so long here, but I hope you all enjoyed this. I have not done this in a while. My mouth is dry. I need to get a drink of water. I have done this unedited, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so this was a game that I actually went to in real life. The Astros won as they did in real life, albeit a different score. But this was fun to go back to 1987. And if you like this, let me know. I will do more of these games and try not to keep it as long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.